Hello and welcome from a rather foggy Knockhill here in Scotland as we return for round 9 and the season finale of the VBTCR Championship. Scotland's only permanent racing facility has cemented itself as one of the most popular venues in the United Kingdom, thanks to its short but exciting layout which encourages plenty of action. Setting out with his digger in 1972, Tom Kennard began to carve out a circuit which swooped and fell down the hillside before connecting with the route of the old railway to head back up the hill through a tight hairpin and back to the finish straight. By the autumn of 1974, the 1.3 mile course was complete, featuring a unique series of twists, turns, drops and climbs, varying by around 200 feet, that's 60 metres, from its highest to its lowest point. I'm Tim Cox, coming to you from the VBTCR Broadcast Centre as always, with Shane Dunn alongside me on production for the last 2 races of the season. Of course, last time out we visited Brands Hatch and it was yet another classic. It's a season which has had so many great races. For Clarkton continued his strong qualifying form with a 6th pole of the season. His lowest qualifying the season was a 3rd in the opening round at Donington, and he was the first person to take the checkered flag in race 1, and in doing so he secured his 5th win of the season. Race 2, thanks to the reverse grid, it saw Shane Dunn take the victory, and also his first time on the podium this season, and well, who can argue? What a way to do so in absolute style. Let's get ready for the final 2 races of the season. It's going to be a cracker. Just taking a look at the team championship. Well, nobody could catch them. They are the champions. It's Impulse Racing with nearly 360 points over Luminous Racing in 2nd. Spud Motorsport, thanks to the consistency of Dunn, Empringham, they're in 3rd right now. Team Ord, a bit of a way off Spud in 4th place, but this very close between them in Insignia. That position is still up for grabs here in Knockhill. Pulse Esports, they are currently in 6th place on 610, followed by Simply Digital. Again, they can potentially catch Pulse Esports here in Motorsport Park. They are a little bit behind in 8th place, but this is where it gets really tight between the sails. Fiercely Forward and the other Ignium Motorsport team. Semper Racing, they are in 11th, with again another little micro battle going on there between themselves and Tim Mad Mortal. Track Obsession, Martin's Discount Stores, British Sim Racers, the Shed Rogue, TC Motorsport rounding out your championship. And taking a look at the championship standings, well, Flarton, despite all those victories, there is only just over 20 points between himself and Assert in 2nd place. Can the Impulse driver take it to him in the final 2 races of the season? I want to find out. Gilman is currently occupying that 3rd place. Shane Dunn is not far behind, thanks largely to that win last time out in the last race. Jan Ball, John Sabula, Malcolm Geraghty and Smith rounding out your top 10, but just look at how close it is. And that battle there for 9th place with Newell in 11th. Denya, he is in 12th with Crowther only 4 points behind, tied on points with Thor Hagen. And then we've got Empringham, Ems, Birch, Holland, Geraghty and McCabe taking up to 20th. Jessica Myers, you have to wonder if she'd been able to take part in more rounds, whether she'd be higher than 21st. With Dan Fulton only a point behind her on 228. Then it's Mould, Harris Gibson, Martin Seal, Cottenham, Murray taking up to 30th. On the grid here, well, once again, it's another pole for Tef Larton with his title contender Assert in 2nd place for Hagen. He is in 3rd with Dandridge alongside for company, a great qualifying from him. Duncan Murray, another of the great qualifiers from the South African. He's got Jan Bol for company on the 3rd row. Thomas Coombe, he is in 7th with Chris Ems for company. You see, 3 out of the 4 left-hand side of the grid being taken up by Impulse drivers. Sure, they'll be working together. Gilman is in 9th. Von Olst rounding out your top 10. Jack Johnson, we saw, who could forget, but absolutely masterclass at defend at Oran Park. He's in 11th with Mark McCabe alongside him for company. It's a little British row in 13th and 14th with Crowther and Smith. Joe Gibson, he's got local boy Scott Malcolm of Team Mad's Immortal with him for company. James Birch and Fraser Garrity are on the 9th row of the grid with Dan Fulton and Ryan Empricum making up your 10th row. Empricum's teammate Dunn, he'll be starting one position behind him in 21st with Jack Dill of Simply Dizzy in 22nd. Cottenham and McGarity make up 23rd and 24th, and it's going to be interesting again. See how those Spode Motorsport guys work together to come through the field, of course. Dunn having his aspirations to hold on to that position in the championship and look to move through. Just to round out your grid here in Knockhill. It's Cottenham and McGarity. And then we've got William Martin and Michael Hall in the last complete row with Tom Holland, the independent. He is in 27th. We get ready to go racing. The opening race here at Knockhill in the season finale, round 9 of VBTCR Championship, and we are away. And a great start by Flarton, really getting the jump over Sir. And needs to be careful because Hagen just looming in the background there in his Hyundai. But here comes the Honda making his way through. That's Murray, a great start from him in 6th place right now as they all come down to McIntyre, the tight right-hander. This is where it's going to get really tight and technical from this point onwards. They come across the rise, the chicane as Murray runs in too deep, but also so does Assert. 2nd place currently in the championship, and that's the last thing he wants. That's the last thing he needs. As Hagen has managed to get his Hyundai just ahead of him. As they come down to Taylor's corner now. Chance to get onto the brakes, maybe make a move here. As we just see in the midfield there, Joe Gibson trying to make some progress over Murray, who had an absolute blinding start. He was in 6th position, but due to that off-track excursion, has fallen down through the field as we see the drag race now between McCabe and Jack Johns on the run down to Duffer's Dip, and a bit of contact there. Johns getting into the back of McCabe right now. Bit of Audi on Hyundai action there. As we see Thomas Kuhn just sitting behind these guys for now as that's Hagen running it a bit too deep. This is going to allow a Assert through. Can Ball come through? No, Hagen shuts the doors fast on Ball. But Assert has got back up a place, but he's going to have his work cut out because Flarton's cleared off up the road. But here comes Hagen on the fight back, going to try and take the outside line. What's Assert going to do? He just covers him off on the apex, but Hagen getting him on the switchback. They bang doors on the exit of Taylor's on the run across the start finish. So you can see Assert not impressed with the flash of the lights, and Hagen, he's going to get ahead into Duffer's Dip on that inside line, but Assert not giving you a fight in this contact. Hagen sent spinning. Oh no! And he takes out Assert as well at the same time, and he's into the wall, and that's damage, and it could well be terminal. As we see on the replay, 2 into 1 never goes. And the man 2nd in the championship is down and out. We ride on board with Hagen right now. You can see it was never going to work out between those two, but they were not giving each other an inch. And all that means that Flarton has now got a 3.2 second advantage over Assert's teammates, the Ball, Ems and Gilman, who are occupying 2nd, 3rd and 4th. We see Ryan Empringham right now. And his teammate Shane Dunn in 17th and 18th right now. As we head back to the front, Ems on an absolute cracker here. He's going to be really encouraged by this performance for Impulse Racing as getting a bit wide, a bit of a drift there through Butchers and the chicane. Such a quick lap here at Knockhill as we look back from Ems. There's his teammate Gilman behind. And then we've got Dandridge. Highest for non-Audi runners. It's currently a Audi lockout podium and top 4. Dandridge is 5th. Van Olst for the Audi driver 6th. McCabe 7th. Johns, he's 8th. Hagen 9th. Recovering after that incident with Assert. There is McCabe in the Hyundai being harassed by Johns. Coombe rounding out your top 10. Highest of the Honda runners right now is Murray. He is in 13th with Fraser Geraghty just behind in 14th for Honda. As we see, they come across the chicane. Such a tricky corner. You really have to thread the eye of the needle with that one. As you see, the drivers coming through. Crowther of Insignia. He'll be hoping to really get it up through the field as they look to improve place in the team championship. There's Jack Newell just ahead of him and Simply Digi. They head down now to the final corner. Taylor's the big braking zone. Tricky uphill type right hand corner, and you can see Crowther getting an absolutely brilliant exit, absolutely enveloping Newell in the Audi. Can this be the Hyundai's time to strike into Duffer's Dip? He pulls alongside, he's going to keep his nose in there. You can see the flash of the lights from Dunn just in the background, and he's going to try and follow through. Can he follow Crowther through? He is, and Newell loses 2 places from Simply Digi in a matter of corners as they come across the chicane. And great manoeuvres there by Crowther and Dunn. As we see this battle between McCabe and Johns. Once more, Hyundai. Sorry, that's Hagen there. Apologies. Getting my Hyundais mixed up. He makes progress against Jack Johns, who was originally all over the back of McCabe. Right on board right now with Johns. That's Hagen in front of us. He's looking to get back up through the field, obviously. So the contact right at this moment. Is it going to be history repeating itself once more as Johns tapped him? Hagen floors the throttle to bring the front end round and just about saves it, and in the process Smith says thank you very much, I'm going to try and sneak through, but Johns fights back. You can't go too through the chicane. Oh, and it ends in disaster for Smith. Smith is going to lose a ton of places from this, and the Albers are out in race 1 of the final round of the VBTCR Championship. Nothing being left on the line here as Johns, here comes Malcolm heading up the inside. Johns seems to be in reverse. There's not the defensive masterclass that I was saying about earlier that we saw from him at Oran Park as the 2 Hondas running in a bit deep there of Murray and Geraghty. As they come across the start-finish line, the fastest lap for Van Olst there. 50, I was going to say 1:51. Such a short lap. There's no minute in front of it. It's just 51 seconds. As side by side, Dandridge forces the manoeuvre over Gilman as they really bounce across the curbs there through the chicane. And you can see Gilman just showing his appreciation, his love of that move, maybe, with the flash of the lights. But Van Olst is really coming onto the back of the Impulse Racing driver here, and he's bringing along McCabe for the ride. What's going to happen between these guys? Already 7 minutes out of 20 complete here in race 1. Flarton sets a new fastest lap of 51.9. That's the benchmark to peak for everyone. It's the Motorsport guys. Oh, that's a swap position between them. Empringham just heading up the inside of teammate Dunn. They need to be careful, these two. See there, especially with Dunn. Clearly no team orders coming involved here. You see the Audi right in the background there of Gibson just moving around, trying to find a way through. Empringham's running in a bit too deep. He heads across the AstroTurf. He's just about going to hold on to that position over Dunn for now. How long can he hold on to that position? You do have to wonder. Definitely looking a bit more the aggressor and a bit more racy as the Honda is definitive, much better straight line speed compared to the other cars, starting to catch up onto the back there. That was Murray as we see Gibson just looking around and oh no, that's Empringham. He's running in too deep and he's lost 2 places. He nearly loses a third to Gibson. To Newell even, sorry. So we look back from Dunn. That is Gibson behind us, and then Empringham, and then Newell. So they come around McIntyre. Short run then on the straight to Butchers. Before it begins the roller coaster section through the chicane. And Gibson right now is moving around, trying to find a way past Dunn, who swoops across the front of him to shut the door firmly closed on Joe Gibson. As we see Van Olsen now, he's got McCabe tucked up right behind him, that more slippery shape of the Hyundai Elantra, working well in the slipstream. Battles up and down the field. There's the Honda of Murray that got an absolutely blinding start, and then due to that excursion across the grass, it's cost him so dearly, the South African. Right now, Derek Crowther of Insignia trying to find a way past, and talking to find a way past. Gibson making a lunge on Dunn there. This is going to bring Empingham right back into play. Oh, there's contact, so they just about save it. Empingham bounces across the curb, and somehow they both keep Jack Newell behind and remain as they were. Big incidents here in Knockhill. You do have to wonder how people are holding on. It can be a trickier circuit to pass. Definitely in true spirit of touring cars, people getting their elbows out. As we see the two Hondas there of Geraghty and Murray, with Crowder in their Hyundai just behind them. They head across the start-finish line. And Geraghty of Insignia taking that defensive line, covering off the advances. Murray starting in 6th place on the grid, setting an absolutely brilliant time. Geraghty knows the pace that the South African has got. Murray needs to be careful with Crowther, not far behind, only 2 tenths. Roughly, it's about the same sort of gap as we ride a ball with Murray right now, as you can see in front of us to Geraghty. You can throw a blanket over these three. Here comes Murray. Geraghty goes defensive already to the inside. Murray's going to look for the comeback. What can he do? Can he get it done? He's got the much better drive off the corner. As we see Smith, he's dueling it out with Malcolm right now. Malcolm making good progress. There's a bit of bargy there, banging doors. Oh, and there's contact once more, and Malcolm holds on. Oh, he's off. He's off into the wall. And Smith carries on. And the Scotsman that was hoping for a strong result here in his home track falls down through the order. He continues to do so, just like these three continue to battle it out right now. Of Geraghty, Murray and Crowther. And Murray currently the meat and an Insignia sandwich. It's happening up and down the field. Flarton's checking out at the front. He's got a 5.5 second advantage over Ball, and that continues to extend. He's currently the only driver in the 51 second mark, as we see Holland with Thornton tucked up right behind him. A good start from Holland side at the back of the grid. Been helped by a little bit by retirements, but even so, making progress is the Brit. They head now down to Taylor's. And Thornton is going to be too far back, or is he? Just getting a bit adventurous on the brakes. Trying to distract Holland as best as he can, but it's going to affect his drive off the corner to come round to complete yet another lap here at Knockhill. As Murray still locked in between the two Insignia drivers. Geraghty's still leading the way in this train. He's currently really defending hard. Murray knows he needs to be careful because Crowther will, he has half a sniff, just slip up the inside or even the outside and get past Murray. Back from Geraghty. You see Geraghty just positioning his car just in the middle of the track there. So they come through Duffer's Dip, around McIntyre. Interesting to see who comes out on top in that battle. We see the battle of Impulse Racing now. M's on an absolute cracker. It's got Gilman just behind. Sam's will feel a bit unlucky from that Snetson round where contact with Mould really upset his race, as Argan back and recovering well after that contact earlier on with Assert. Head down through Duffer's Dip. It's Malcolm still trying to find his way past Empingham. 3 tenths separating them. As you see Geraghty yet again position his car off the racing line. Better car's width to the inside, on the inside of the track towards it, as Murray really struggling to find a way past in this Honda versus Honda battle. They come through Butchers, through the chicane, and you can see there, basically you can't see the corner exit, just you see elevation change. You come across the crest of the hill. Murray, he's absolutely all over the back of Garrity, but he needs to be careful because once again, Crowther is all over the back of him. As Garrity still taking that inside defensive line that Murray just does not have an answer for. He seems to get a better drive off the corner, but with this short start-finish straight, it's not long enough for Murray to close in the slipstream and get ahead. As for once, Garrity able to take his normal racing line into deficit. So they come down into McIntyre, and Murray, he's got his nose just alongside, and it's not quite enough. He backs out once more into the chicane. And here we go, this is going to be the move. They bang swords, Murray's going to be through past Garrity, he's going to have the inside line into Clark, and down Railway Straight. I mean, but yeah, again, Murray not getting the best run off the corner, and the Hondas are going to be side by side. Garrity's going to be on this outside line. Murray, can he cover off and utilise that defensive line that we've seen Garrity pull off so many times? But no, they come round Taylor's corner side by side. They head down the start-finish straight side by side, and Garrity has just got his nose in front, but Murray is going to have that inside line, and this place is going to be his. And finally, after laps looking at the back of the Insignia, Honda's rear bumper of Garrity, Murray makes his way through. As we see an advance from the Hyundai of Hagen right now, of Luminous Racing, looking for the cutback of the Belgium driver Van Olst. As they head across the start-finish straight, Hagen tucked up right behind. If he's any closer, he'd be practically sat in the front passenger seat, and tries to make a little bit of a lunge into deficit there. Decides to back out of it. So round McIntyre, then Butchers. Van Olst holds on to that 6th place for now. First grid race coming up. It's the second race. As Van Olst, he's just tapped there. As Hagen had to force a move to find a way through. And that's going to allow McCabe through as well. And Van Olst is feeling a whole world of pain right now. That's 2 places he's lost due to the contact from Hagen, who's desperate to get his way back up through the field. So we see our leader, Flarton, 5 seconds ahead. He's just coming up onto the back of Martin. So he laps him, currently lapped all the way up to 20th place. Stan Fulton comfortably occupying that position, making light work of the traffic in the Audi. So look down from above. Flarton about to claim another victory here. Though Curse of the commentator has struck numerous signs, and don't want to invoke that quite on him yet. Of course, that will be his 6th win of the season. Interestingly, all of his wins coming in race 1. Nearly all of them from pole as well. So you see Crowther right now of Insignia, currently down in 13th. Just dropped a bit back off the back of his teammate Garrity ahead. Garrity been able to pull away. He's no longer locked into that defensive manoeuvres that he's having to constantly pull over Murray. See Van Olst, who's going to feel maybe a little bit unduly done and a bit down from where he should be. As we see, just getting a bit wide there. I think that was Holland in the background there, just getting a bit wide. As Van Olst runs it a bit wide himself, but so does McCabe as well. As McCabe comes alongside in the Hyundai, he's going to have this outside line. Van Olst, he's going to cover it off. And then just slow it up on the apex to prevent any progress from McCabe. But McCabe just slowing up on corner entry just to get the better run out of the corner. See John's on the lights there, flashing at Holland in the background to find his way past. As Gibson, just to see him there, trying to make his way through. That is Crowther ahead. Tail Garrity has really pulled away from these guys. We'll look back from Crowther right now at Joe Gibson. So making good progress so far this race. You see Crowther take that defensive line that we saw his teammate Garrity take for so many laps. He's trying to fend off the offensive of Murray, who, I tell you what, since Murray's been released, he's pulled out 2.5 seconds over Garrity. Absolutely brilliant from South Africa. As we see the two impulse drivers of Gilman and Ems. Gilman has made his way past Ems finally. He's getting himself up into 4th, but right now the battle is on between Van Olsen and McCabe as they move around on the straight, trying to cover each other off. It's like a game of poker, this. Who will blink first? Just leave that slight bit of gap as Van Olsen nearly tapped into the back by Scott McCabe. But there you go, there is contact on the entry into Butchers. So, incredibly close. So they're on the final lap now, the final chance. Flaherty is going to take his 6th victory of the season with a flash of the lights and a wave. And that is going to be surely the championship for him as well, as these two are going right to the line through Taylor's corner. Oh, and a bit of contact on the exit there where Van Olsen just tried to cover off McCabe. McCabe just got into that rear 3/4 panel of the Audi of Van Olsen, but Van Olsen just holds on to the position there. Oh, wow. What a race. Seth Larton taking the victory. Sure, that's going to be the championship for him as well. Jan Bol of Impulse, he was 2nd. Tom Dandridge for Hyundai. A great drive from him into 3rd for Verve Racing Team. Then it's 2 Impulse Racing Team drivers of Gilman and Ems. Hagen, disappointed by that one, into 6th, but recovered well. Van Olsen 7th. McCabe 8th. With Smith and Johns running your top 10. Then it was Murray, another driver feel a bit aggrieved from that race after he ran wide. Garrity, Crowther, Dunn, Malcolm, Emprium and Null taking you up to 18th place. Dunn and Emprium. Clearly a bit of team orders did come into play in the end to allow Dunn through. This consistency of Dunn that's kept him so high in the championship. Martin, he was 20th himself and 1 lap down. Likewise was Holland. 2 laps down was Don Cottenham, of course, caught up in action in the opening laps. Then was Coombe. Well, we saw what happened to him. He retired the car, and so did Birch and McGarrity on this same lap. And we lost Michael Hall on the opening lap, unfortunately. Wow. What can we say about this fascinating circuit? Well, the season has, of course, been extended to include Knockhill after it was added to iRacing back in December. And this track near Dunfermline in the lowlands of Scotland, the circuit was the realisation of the local farmer and motorbike racing fan Tom Kinnard, who travelled regularly to events across the country, but dreamed of being able to see a motorsport venue a little closer to home. On his home farmland lay the ideal solution. Several service roads and a disused railway line seemed to offer a good layout for racing. From the outset, Tom's notion of if you build it, they will come provided accurate results, and huge crowds started to flock to see the action. And of course, the track has remained largely unchanged since its inception. That's the addition of some new facilities that have come along and kept the circuit up to date. It still remains a much loved classic as we head into race 2. You see McGarrity on pole and he leads everyone away, but Assert has an absolutely blinding start. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 1. And McGarrity loses 2 places off the line, with Birch making his way past, but Assert is out into the lead. The Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman, looking for redemption, and oh no! He's all come apart from him into McIntyre. He's run it in too deep, and he's falling right through the order. He comes back on at the chicane in front of Dunn and Empringham. He's down to 7th. And what was an epic start from the Audi driver. in the blink of an eye, has fallen apart once more as Birch checks out on the front and McGarity begins his defensive session as Cottenham runs in deep. They're looking to try and get some better drive off the corner. Coombe, he is third for Hyundai right now. So we see Assert. What can he do? Can he cut his way back through the pack? Van Olsen setting the initial pace on the opening lap, the fastest lap, the only driver in the 59 seconds. So we see Dan Thornton here. He's got Empringham tucked up right behind him and he's moving around in the break, and we just see in the foreground there, I think it's that, I'm just trying to clock who that was. That was Coombe, I think, trying to make his way through and make his advances. Just like this guy is here, comes Assert, slips it up the inside of Holland, who's been enveloped right now. This is possibly going to be Thornton going to come through as well, as we see the two Spud Motorsport drivers duking it out there of Empringham and Dunn. As Empringham goes on the attack, he sees a big wide gap open on the inside and heads ahead of Thornton as they drag it out down the start finish straight. They bang doors on just in the pit entry there, and Empringham just losing that bit of drive. What can Thornton do? Is he going to shut the door? There's a slowing car there. I'm not too sure who that was. I think that might have been Jack Null. Oh no, that's Van Olsen to contact there. Oh, it's all happening here in race 2, the final race of the season of the VBTCR Championship. Drama right until the very end once more. So we see Null desperately trying to get out of the way of the field coming through, and Thornton slows right up. He must have a slowdown. Oh, and he's falling right through the field because of it as everyone heads through. Hagen already up to 11th place. A great drive from him. And out in front, I'll tell you what, Coombe has made his way past McGarity. Someone's off on the infield there, did I just see? At the corner of my eye. Some tie marks in the grass and the gravel there in the background. You see Van Olst. He's got Murray just behind him, and Thornton, he's headed to the pits. That may well be suspension damage for him. Disappointed to see him retire. We had Hall, unfortunately, retire, the Audi driver as well. As we see, Holland starts off a train that makes up Dunn, Johns, Gibson, Hagen, Gilman, Ems. Well, it takes you all the way pretty much down to Scott Malcolm in 20th as all. Everyone queuing up behind him to try and find their way past. And Holland creating a massive roadblock now. We've got 2 wide. We've got 3 wide here at Knockhill on the runway down to Taylor's. Everyone queuing up, trying to find their bit of track space right now. We can even see Flarton, he's getting involved. He wants some of the action. We got 2 lots of 3 wide. There's one of the Impulse guys on the grass. I think that's Goldman. Oh no! And then because he rejoined, that caused contact, and that's Dunn gone as well. With it having to go 3 wide on probably the tightest circuit of the season, it was going to end up in tears. You saw Dunn in the middle there, just being ping-ponged around. Flarton involved as well. And Dunn comes off the worst. And all while that's been going on, Assert is up into the podium places after coming off the road at turn 2 at McIntyre. He's coming back through the field and up to 3rd as this midfield battle. Wow, there is no space between them. The phrase "you could throw a blanket on them" has never been more applicable until now here in Knockhill at race 2. There's Flarton, you can see him in that black livery car there just on the outside. He's going to get his way past Van Olst. That's the 14th place, but Van Olst is not giving up with a fight. As you see Crowther there in the Hyundai with an incredibly damaged front end. I think he might even be missing his front bumper potentially. It's Cottenham. He's got Johns behind him. We know Johns can have some absolutely rapid pace. He's then got the Impulse driver of Ems tucked up behind him in this little 3-car train, which almost seems tame compared to what we've seen. Johns heads to the outside. Oh, we've already seen 3 into 1. Does not go, and somehow somehow, despite Johns coming across to shut the door firmly shut, everyone makes it through and Cottenham loses 2 places. Johns up into 7th, M's up into 8th, and Cottenham demoted to 9th. A new fastest lap from Hagen at 52.1. That'll keep coming down. But McGarity, he's got teammate Empringham right behind him. And this battle for 4th place. Our top 3, they've checked out. They've all got 2 seconds between them. Birch leads from Coombe from Assert as we see Empringham just losing out of place there to Hagen. The Scandinavian finding a way through there at Clark. As they come down Railway Straight. Bizarrely called Railway Straight, despite being on a bit of a curve, as Empringham returns the favour. That just gets in front of Hagen there and reclaims the place almost instantly. Assert the first driver into the 51s with a 51.9. 6 minutes complete. It feels like a lifetime. We've had so much happen. Oh no! This is a blue on blue incident. As Empringham, I think that was, just lost it, and here comes Johns. He can sense an opportunity. I know, so I think it was McGarity just got a bit wide, bumped into the side of his teammate. McGarity loses out. He's gone from 4th to 8th. Empringham remains in 5th. Somehow, Johns unable to make any progress. Likewise with them, despite getting past McGarity, they've been able to get past Empringham while he was weak. But Hagen, he's in 4th right now, so they come on to the brakes into Taylor's. John's looking at that outside line to get the cut back. Try and get the drive off. It just shuts off any advances from Ems. There's side by side as McGarity and Dandridge. He's had a brilliant start. As Dandridge in 9th for now, but is he going to be able to get past McGarity into toughest hip? Yes, he does. And he's up a place. We've had some absolutely amazing races this season, but it definitely feels like it's all coming out, all the drama, all the twists, all the tales, as John's making progress there into Clark, getting the drive down Brabham Straight just before. Empringham just trying to fight back, but looks like he's going to lose out to Ems, who's sucked up and tucked in right behind the bumper of Jack Johns right now. Empringham runs in really, really deep. And he's also then, that's meant he's lost the place to Dandridge. Third driver making good progress there. What's going out in front? I think something might have happened to Birch, our leader. We'll see if we can bring you that shortly. He's dropped a couple of places. Coombe and the set have managed to find their way past, but right now Malcolm caught up in action in race 1. Has Gilman right behind him. The German following through the chicane. Clark curve now. Seems to have settled down a little bit now with 9 minutes to play here in race 2 after an absolutely crazy, monumental, epic start here to race 2 at Knockhill in the final round. So we see Ems, he's got Dandridge right behind. Ems, well, unsurprisingly, I'm sure so many of our drivers are going to have carrying a bit of damage to the rear bumper for Audi RS3. As we see John's just in the front of us there. A couple of cars in front just running a little bit wide into Butcher's there. Managed to recover it. Now starting to feel the advances of Ems. What can Ems do? These 3 Brits battling it out over 5th place, but out in front, Coombe leads for Hyundai, but Assert is closing in. Only 2 laps to go. It was 2 seconds the gap. It's now down to half a second. Assert has taken 1.5 seconds out of Coombe. Not too sure what happened to Birch. He might have run wide and come off track, and that's what's caused him to lose those 2 places and fall right off the back of these 2. But Assert is definitely the Flying Dutchman after that blinding start, then fell back through the field, then helped by contact and incidents throughout, and also his pace carrying him through the field and up the standings. is now in second, and he'll be looking to round out the season with a win. So we see Johns put Flarton onto the back of this group. Talking of onto the back, he's closed up by, he's taken around about 3 attempts out of Coombe on that last time around. You've got the battle of Holland versus Britain right now. Just under half of the race to go. Can Coombe hold on from Assert? Can he defend those inside lines constantly? Can he park the car? Oh no, that's Jack Johns! What has happened to Johns? And that was with Gilman, I believe, there. Johns forced wide and oh, contact! As Dandridge came through. As here goes a replay. This is Assert taking the lead. Once more. It's been in the lead since corner 2. It's McIntyre of lap 1. So we just watch Gibson getting ahead of Empringham there. It's currently the battle over 8th place. You see Crowther in the background there. His Hyundai of Insignia Racing has literally no front bumper whatsoever. See the radiators. Absolutely everything. That definitely will be hurting his straight line speed. Luckily, there's not really a chance to utilise it here at Knockhill. Hence why he's able to stay right on to the back of the Gibson-Empringham battle. So you see Dandridge here. With Ems right behind. Ems makes a little bit of a lunge. Needs to be careful. There's Flarton, who's already won 6 races this season. I don't think with around about 7 minutes to go here in Scotland, he's going to make another win for the season. As you see Johnson's coming back out the pits and Flarton moving all over the back of Ems right now. Chris Ems holds on to that 6th place. Feels like with the pace we know that Flarton has, the Scandinavian making a manoeuvre when, not if. So they're both a little bit wide, and Flarton just losing out a little bit more compared to what Ems did there. As we see Crowther, he's got Scott Malcolm behind to finish. Top Scott ahead of McCabe in race 2. McCabe currently down in 19th as Crowther. This is the place. He's about to lose to Malcolm. Malcolm gets some size in the top 10. He's slow off the corner there. Crowther getting a brilliant run, almost running into the back of Malcolm, completely and utterly unsuspecting. And Malcolm is going to be on this outside line. Can he swoop down? Crowther already has lost his front end. No, they're side by side through Dupper's Dip. And finally into McIntyre. Scott Malcolm shuts the door and holds on to the position. An absolutely blinding overtake. As we see, Birch has managed to close. Sorry, he's just lost out, obviously, quite a bit of time to Coombe and Assert ahead of him. Now nearly 9 tenths, and that's brought him right back into the clutches of Hagen, who's also been on some absolutely blinding laps himself. Birch goes defensive. We've seen this so many times before. People covering off that inside line, just moves back across nearly to the racing line, just still preventing any inside lunge from Hagen. Hagen absolutely swarming all over the back of the Audi. Let's have 2 Hyundais on the podium, but Birch will be looking to hold on to that himself. Of course, this will be Birch's best ever result in the championship by quite a way. Birch can remain on the podium. It'll be his first visit to it. And Birch, interestingly, has never even finished inside the top 10. His highest finish so far this season is 11th. And this will be an absolutely brilliant result. I mean, reminiscent of race 2 last weekend when, sorry, 2 weeks ago when Dunn took the victory. That was his first time on the podium. alone taking a victory, and Birch will be defending for his life. He's only got 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining to hold on from Hagen. Can he do it? The Englishman will be desperate too. And talking of Englishman on principles, just used to see Smith there, and here's Cottenham round the outside, and Murray just runs it too deep. That allows Van Ols through, and also that's going to allow Garrity through as well in the Honda. They seem to have a little bit of a better race this time around. Right, if you have managed to hold on to that 6th place despite running off the track, he unfortunately in race 1 started much further down the grid. So we just see Gilman here with Smith right behind. There's Crowther in front, and then Malcolm, and then Empringham. This 5-way battle currently over 9th place. But no, sorry, Birch is still holding on from Hagen. We head to that battle now. Hagen unable to find a way past, and nearly a bit of contact that may well have even been. It's the back of Birch. Birch goes defensive once more. Is this going to be Hagen's time to shine? He's going to have the work to do round the outside. Birch is just going to slow it up on the apex surely and just cover off. We see Hagen taking that wide, swooping line, looking to carry on the speed. Birch heads to the inside of the track to cover him off. Going to make Hagen do all the work around the outside. Can Hagen do it? Can he swoop across? Birch just elbows him out wide and retains that position. It's given him the breathing space finally. The gap has only been 0.2 of a second for the last couple of laps. It's now out to half a second. As we see Crowther still in the middle of this battle between Empringham, Malcolm, Crowther, Gilman and Smith. They've all remained relatively calm. You see a bit of I think a bit of lock-up there around, maybe even just some of the tyres there for Empringham into the chicane, which they came across the crest. They're still holding on to that last place on the podium. Not long left here in race 2, and Malcolm knows it, and is he going to get past? Just shoulders Empringham off there, and Empringham, he's going to lose 4 places. And he heads into the pits, clearly carrying down, just checking out. There is only 1 minute and 50 seconds left here in race 2 and of the season of the VBTCR Championship here from Knockhill in round 9. Assert is leading. Coombe is second. It looks like Hagen's got past Birch. That is gutting for him. It's got someone off the track. That's Dandridge. Dandridge comes off track. As we see him. So there's Birch. I tell you what, this group behind have closed right into the back of Birch and Hagen. As it stands, 11th place is Birch's best finish. He looks like he's going to better that for sure. Keep it on the track, but I mean, coming into this weekend, I'm sure Birch would have been absolutely ecstatic with a 4th place. We got maybe just he couldn't hold off Hagen a little bit longer. 55 seconds is all that is left here in race 2. And who is going to be brave into the final corner? Not long left to find out as they round Clark Curve. They head down Railway Straight. Taylor's is the next corner. They have this chance and then one more go as we see us heading on to the final lap of the season in the lead. There is Coombe. He's not far behind. 0.4 seconds, but I think that's going to be maybe a bit too far back. They've got Johns and he's in the front of Assert, and then Cottenham is ahead of Coombe right now. There is Assert. Oh no, Scott Malcolm checks out. He's headed to the pits. So we see Assert, he has got 1 corner left before he comes here to claim victory. It'll be without a win for Assert. I say a little while, of course he was a double winner at Daytona first driver to win both rounds of the season. And if he's going to do so, he takes victory. Coombe is second, but it's all happening in this midfield battle. But they're going to remain as is. There's going to be a race to the line. I don't think Flart is going to make any progress here. He's going to give it a go, but it's not long enough. Coombe second, Hagen rounding out your podium. And here are your classified results. Taking the victory in race 2. Coombe is second. Hagen rounds out your podium. James Birch would be gutted not to be on the podium, but still an amazing result for him. 4th place. As I mentioned, his best ever result was 11th. He'd be ecstatic with that one. Absolutely. Chris Ems, he was 5th. Dandridge 6th. Flarton 7th. Gibson, Crowther and Gilman rounding out your top 10. I mean, a great drive from the black from Flarton to get himself up into 7th. And the track was a bit hard to pass on. Smith, Murray, Van Ols, McCabe, Garrity, Empringham, Holland and Dunn taking you up to 18th place. And just look at how close even the finishing times are between so many of our drivers. Then we've got Tom Holland, who made me a bit disappointed despite that. It's the off-track excursion that sent him down. He was 17th with Shane Dunn and Scott Malcolm, the last of the drivers to finish on the lead lap. A long lap down with Cottenham, Thornton, Neil and Johns with William Martin. He was 2 laps down. Jan Ball, 3 laps down. Then it's on some retirees. Alfie McGarrity and Michael Hall, who unfortunately, I don't think he took to the grid, did Michael Hall. So disappointing not to have him here into the last race of the season. And wow, what an absolute firecracker around that has been. It could have gone any which way at any moment in time. It truly did. What does this mean for the championship standings? Well, we already knew Impulse Racing would be taking the victory. Some 350 points nearly there between themselves and Luminous and Spud Motorsport. They hold on to 3rd in the Teams Championship. Team Ord, they are 4th. Insignia couldn't quite do enough to get their way past them in the championship standings. Pulse Esports was 6th. Simply Digi 7th. Ignia Motorsport Spark unfortunately didn't have any of the drivers here this weekend, so they remain in 8th. Fearlessly Forward 9th. Ignia Motorsport, they were 10th. Simortal, the only team to climb a place. Team Mad Simortal up into 11th, displacing Semper Racing. Themselves up into 11th. Track Obsession, they were 13th on 309 points with Martin's discount scores. Of course, William Martin, the only driver with him, a good drive from him, and 14th in the championship. British Sim Racers, they were 15th on 185. As we head now into the Drivers' Championship. Well, there we go. 6 victories to his name. Flarton taking the victory. It's gutted by race 1. Might have stood just a chance, but even so, 2nd in the championship is where he has come. Gilman is 3rd. Dan Bolt climbs a place up into 4th, displacing Dunn. Drops to 5th. Thorhagen up, climbs 8 places here at the final round to get himself into 6th. Chris Smith up 3 places into 7th. Jack Johns drops 2 places into 8th. Chris Ems, another big climb, is up 7 into 9th. Sabula, which we didn't see here, thus drops 3 places into 10th. Crowther and Empringham both climbed 2 and 3 places respectively to 11th and 12th. Garrity and Scott Malcolm dropping 4 and 6 places respectively. Likewise, Newell and Denyer dropping 4 places. Mike McCabe 17th. Tom Holland remains where he was and where he started the evening on in 18th place. James Birch is in 19th with Alfred McGarrity running out the top 20. And it's Gibson Murray, who didn't do the full season, but even so, a great result from him. Likewise, just Myers than 1 did the full season in 23rd. Dan Thornton drops a couple of places into 24th. Cottenham rises 3 into 25th with Dan Mould in 27th. And Damien Harris, who had some cracking results, just rounding out the championship. Wow. I don't know about you, I think I'm going to go try and calm down. I mean, we've had so many great moments this season. It's hard to pick out one, really. But I mean, that race 2 here at the final round, you can tell the gloves are off, absolutely everything off. You can see the action there. We had lots of free wide, 10 cars where you literally could throw a blanket over them. It was mental. Daytona was all about the slipstream. Of course, Cert with that double victory, the only driver to manage to do so. But congratulations, it's got to go to Thorhagen. Sorry, not Thorhagen, Flarton even, sorry, and his championship win. It's been an epic season from myself, Tim Cox and Shane Dunn. It's thank you very much and good night.